It's March 14th, 2022. This is Roqe. Well, he has become one of the most buzzed about young fighters in the UK today, an Iranian refugee who's getting a lot of attention in the boxing ring. But the story of how Alireza Reza Ghadiri got to England and climbed his way in the boxing world is the stuff of movies. His journey is a harrowing one, from tragedy as a small child losing family in a car crash to living on the streets and gang life in Tehran as a teenager. But Ali found his way to asylum in the UK, and now, still in his early 20s, has a fight at Wembley Arena coming up with a global audience on satellite. Reza Ali joins us. This is Conversations from, to, and about the Iranian diaspora. I'm Jian Ghomeshi. This is Roqe. Hi there, welcome to episode 171 of Roqe. Hope you're keeping well wherever you're tuning in from around the world. Hello to you from Toronto, Canada. Salam Dustan Aziz, Durud Bar Shoma. Hello Gurvishaya.
Salam.
Salam. Hello Captain Reza.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Very subdued. Hello Captain Reza.
Hello, sir.
There we go. And hello the fabulous Kyan.
Hi, Jian.
Hello, you look very nice.
Thank you. It's Nowruz coming
We were thinking, I would think we're going to try and shoot a Nowruz video today, our second annual Nowruz video. And so I knew you'd come.
Let's see if we can get that.
I mean, the rest of us schlubs don't, we don't, I knew you'd look fabulous. You're the fabulous Kyan, let's face it.
I got to fit the character.
Alireza Reza Ghadiri joining us in just a little bit from London. What a story he has. I'm looking forward to this interview. He moved to the UK as a refugee seeking asylum. This is about 6 years ago when he was 18 years old. He was living on the streets in the UK, no money, living on the streets, and he said that he was happy because he felt safe on the streets of London after what he'd been through in Iran. And which is just this crazy story of a really, really tough life that he has seemingly overcome to become this rising star boxer in England. And he wasn't even a boxer when he got to the UK. He had done kickboxing. He'd done sort of martial arts and fighting in Iran. But he trained, and he's turned this around really quickly and become this guy who's at Wembley Arena this weekend, and whatever he ends up doing as a fighter, however successful he is, you got to be proud of this guy. And what a story! Well, Alireza Reza Ghadiri. Reza, you should have like a moniker, Reza Cholet.
I don't know.
Rambunctious Reza.
Rambunctious. No,
I guess you're Captain Reza. That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Reza Captain Reza Cholet.
Reza Captain Reza Cholet. Yeah. Reza Captain.
That would be your boxing name. Reza Ali going up against a Captain Reza today.
Has he ever won a competition?
He's not actually a captain. Why they name him captain?
No, but he comes out with a captain's hat when he's boxing. He's got full regalia.
WWE.
Like in a pirate outfit. That's the only kind of captain I see.
And an Iranian Canadian named Captain Reza on the bill today up against
released
Reza
from the
Ali.
circus. Based on the appearance.
It's nice to laugh. I mean, does it, with Nowruz imminent, coming up later this week, in fact, this spring equinox, the moment of the beginning of spring, the moment that the Saat Tahvil, the beginning of Nowruz is a new day, is actually Sunday, March 20th, Sunday morning, Toronto time. And so this is, it's less than a week away. And so it feels like it should be this joyous time of this, incredible celebration that we have, this non-religious, non-denominational, very inclusive, wonderful celebration. And yet it seems like such a dark time in the world.
Yeah.
Does it seem like that to you guys, or is that just me, or is it always a dark time in the world?
Well, there's always something. I mean, last year it was COVID. The one before that was the 752 flight.
Yeah.
Now Russia attacking Ukraine. Every year seems to be something ominous happening that kind of offsets the happiness you're trying to celebrate.
Do you feel like it's a dark time in the world, Kyan?
When I turn on the news, yes, but as soon as you shut it off, it's happy. You make it what
That's
it
true,
is,
too.
right? Like, you got to focus on the
Is there
positive.
something weird or uncomfortable or privileged about celebrating Nowruz when horrible things are happening in the world?
There always is. Like Reza said, every year there's something happening in the world that's horrible and miserable. But you got to look at the bright side.
Better to forget about those people and just
Don't
party.
forget about it. No,
Right.
you got to hope and pray for brighter days for humanity in
Right,
general.
right. But we can't suspend all of life because
No, I mean, spring still comes no matter what. Animals still come out.
Oh.
Plants grow. Life goes on, and it's just a cycle.
Not if there's World War III. There may not be any life left.
For all we know, next year there, God forbid, but for all we know, there could be a war in Canada next year. Who knows? I'm not saying I know something.
You know something
guys
we don't know.
But I'm just saying, you celebrate time when it's good, and when it's bad, you get through it. That's it.
Shaya, how do you feel about celebrating Nowruz when there's difficult news in the world?
Yeah, I think generally when you celebrate something, you release a good energy to this world, and at some point it will return to you and to the world. So I think you have to celebrate. Yeah.
Oh.
Nicely said,
All right.
Shah.
Most
Yeah.
beautifully said by Shaya, the poet, without the beard.
Well, I'm not sure if the good energy of celebrating Nowruz is going to help the folks in Yemen at present.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But actually, Reza Ali's story, not to preempt him because I've got to ask him about it, the details, but it really puts things in perspective, particularly in the sort of the Eastern Western paradigm, in terms of what we see as privileged here versus what, or what we see as difficult here in our privileged, Western world versus the, because it says it all. I was living on the streets of London, but I was happy, because I was no longer in the. He comes from a very difficult part of southern Tehran, I think. So we'll get to that anyway. We are coming to you on roqemedia.com. It is there that you can link to all of our platforms. We're on our ongoing mission to build a new audiovisual encyclopedia of Iranian diaspora identity. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, CastBox. If you like to see some visuals with Roqe, switch over to YouTube right now. And if you like your Roqe descriptions and bulletins in English and Farsi, check us out on Telegram. You can become a patron of our program by going to our all-new fabulous website at roqemedia.com and pressing the Support Us button. We depend on you guys. Even $5 or $10 a month or $25 a month really helps us out. The Support Us button at roqemedia.com. If you're a regular listener, become a patron. We appreciate that. So I hear, speaking of prepping for Nowruz, that Reza, now this is how much Reza has changed. Reza, you and Kyan were at the same hair salon, getting your nails done or something.
Nails done?
Well, I don't know what were you doing. There's nothing wrong with getting your nails done.
There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I wasn't getting my nails done.
What were you getting done?
I was getting my beard trimmed.
I see.
You
can't trim your beard yourself. You have to go to a salon.
This guy's a professional. He does a very, very nice job.
Wait, he just did your beard?
That's all he did.
That's
yeah.
all
Speaking
he
of
did.
privilege.
Yeah, what?
I fancy
That's
going to the
thing?
salon where I can get my beard trimmed.
You guys have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude, I use a trimmer. You just
I
use
know. That's why you look like Sattar the Shit, they get
I see. I can't go to a fancy salon for just getting my beard
You
trimmed.
just got your beard trimmed? Like,
yeah,
not
I did
even,
because I like the fade. Like I like it to be like very nice fade.
He didn't touch your hair at all?
No.
How many
What a
times
waste.
a week do you have to go and get that done?
Oh no! How many times a week?
Well,
like
I
once
mean,
every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks, you go to get your beard trimmed.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there getting my.
How do you like that?
I don't know.
I
what to
highly
say.
recommend it. It's so good, and
Yeah.
it massages
You know,
your
I was-
beard. And
I was
uses
sitting there,
oils and
right
stuff.
before Nowruz, I get my hair cut, fresh hair, new
So here's
hair.
the story I heard. I mean, I could go go on forever making fun of Reza for getting his beard trims at a salon. Nothing again. I'm glad that the salon is actually a friend of ours. I know the guy, and I'm glad that they're benefiting from your
beard trimming.
Your open wallet apparently for Shaya. I'm imagining you don't go to a place to get your beard trimmed. Shaya uses a butter knife at home while he's cooking. He just heats up the knife and. So here's the story I hear. The story I heard from a little bird who may also be a captain.
It's probably incorrect already.
Reza says he was in the place for like an hour within a meter of you and you didn't recognize him, or you didn't say hello to him.
So
because you were so caught up in getting
it's a very Persian salon, and I tend to avoid making eye contact with Persian men just in general. I don't know what it is.
You go to Persian men's salon?
I don't. And so I like this guy that I get my haircut. Anyway, so he's sitting diagonally to me, and I'm avoiding eye contact, and I'm just listening to this guy yap and yap. I was like, this guy is not
the guy being Reza
talking to his hairdresser or his beard trimmer, whatever you want to call it.
While he was trimming your beard, he
was just going
a conversationalist.
No, this time he was trying. I was like, make a line in the back of my head too. So that's when I started
so I was
walking.
like, oh my god, this man, he won't shut up. So I had to look.
And you didn't recognize, like,
I didn't hear his voice.
You didn't recognize the voice.
Listening to the radio show that we've been doing for 2 years.
No, because there's like hair dryers going off, and so it's not the usual highlighted like Captain Reza voice on air. So I had to look. I was like, who is this like annoying person?
Son of a gun.
And I'm like, Reza, of course it's Reza. And I have a mask on. He does not, because he's getting his beard trimmed. I'm like, Reza. He turns to me. It takes him like 10 seconds to recognize.
Wait, so you didn't recognize her either?
No, I didn't, because there's the lady sitting in front of me.
And you try to avoid eye contact with Persian ladies.
Well, to the best of my ability, yes. And especially if they have... I love
this insight into Iranian communication. No one's looking at each other.
And everybody's aware of each other.
They tend to think you're interested if you even look at them.
That's right. Reza would certainly think. Reza, you would certainly think somebody's interested. If a woman looked at you, God knows.
Yes, I'm that kind of person. But I was looking at her, and she's like, her hair was wet, right? So it's not normal poofy Kyan's hair, right? Or a bald cap. I don't know. I've always seen her like, and then she's wearing a mask and no makeup whatsoever. Oh, gee. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
sorry. No. I'm not you. I don't make myself pretty to go to the salon.
Oh, yeah, right. But no, honestly, though. And I looked, and then she was talking to me. I couldn't hear her because like the hair dryer is on and everything. And she's like, Reza. I'm like, who? And then she's like, Reza, is that you? She removed her mask, talked to me. I'm like, Kyan, I've been sitting here for like 15 minutes, staring right in. I look at you several times.
I mean, is that the first time you two have been in the same place outside of this studio?
I think so. He's a different person. He was like,
he's a lot more Persian. Sometimes, you see him in that element.
He was talking in Persian. That's it. That's why I didn't recognize it. Yeah, because it was just so.
Yeah, because the guy who cuts my hair, like I try to talk to him in English. It's easier for me, but he doesn't understand it, right? Like I'm like, I made this movie, a rev. He's like, داداش این فیلمیو که ساختی کجا پخش میشه؟ آره بابا پخش میشه. That's why like I gotta speak to him in Farsi. He's more.
Can I ask how much does it cost to get your beard trimmed?
Well, this time he didn't charge me, because last time he had overcharged me, but usually $20.
$20.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's it. That's modest. It's not like
that,
$200.
No. What are you, crazy?
So that's a thing? Like people go just for beard trimming?
Yes. It's a real thing.
I had no
You see those perfect beards out there? Men show up like trimmed properly to the T.
But to be honest, like yours looks like any average beard to me right now.
You.
Maybe I need a closer
That's the $20 trim.
That's the $20 trim.
If you get the $50 trim, it's a little nicer.
This is my last show, ladies and gentlemen.
When I get my hair cut, they'll sometimes help the beard. But I wouldn't think to go get it.
Just
Not
pay
worth
to
the
get it
20
trimmed.
bucks to look like this, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, $20 you can look like Reza, and that's what it is. $20. Yeah.
But it was good to see him. You know, when you're in a
it's
place
fun.
and it's all Persian, like I feel out of place already. So when I saw her, I was like,
No,
Reza.
but you know what was funny? Actually, what got my attention was that. So I'm speaking to them in Farsi. Everybody's speaking Farsi.
Yeah,
it's such
yeah.
a Persian place, right?
Yeah.
Even her
Chai is
hairdresser
getting
was
served.
speaking to her in
That's
Farsi.
right.
And then all of a sudden, she was like, Reza. I was like, Kyan. And then we switched speaking to each other in English and about like the show, my work, her work and stuff. And then everybody was looking at us as if like
We're
they saw
outsiders.
two
Yeah.
aliens just born. Like, wow. So interesting.
Yeah, you know, what I hate is sometimes when I go to just on Friday, I went to, there's these little, what's the word for like a little Persian
Cafe.
deli? No, like
Deli?
not a deli.
Bakali.
Bakali, yeah.
Bakali.
You know, there's these little Persian bakalis
yeah,
that
yeah.
are like not the big
No,
khorak
the big ones, yeah.
places, but the smaller ones that are super Persian,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
you know, the only people who go in there, it's are you know, people who are
Yeah.
just like, there's no English spoken in there. And I hate when I go in and speak Persian, and then they switch to English. Like I'll be like, "Salam," and you know, okay, what do you want to? Anything else you want? And I'm like, damn, you know, I'm exposed. Yeah, I gotta speak English. Like, and they're kind of rolling their eyes. Yes, is that all you want? What else you want? You know.
Have they ever corrected you? You
No,
say something
no,
and
no.
they're
But
like,
but I really do feel the pressure in there.
Yeah.
I feel the pressure of like, oh, do I speak Persian? And then they start speaking English to me, or it's even worse where they'll say something really quick, and we'll be speaking Persian, and then they'll go, you know, I'm like, ببخشید چی میگی؟
No, what was the last one?
I
Say it again.
ask you if you want more eggplant, you know. And I was like, oh, damn.
This is good.
Speaking of being Persian and weird things, you remember how we said that the Persian language is really literal, like beaver is called saga abi.
Yeah.
So my boyfriend's from Shiraz, like you,
Yeah,
Reza,
yeah.
and he was talking to his parents. I don't know what they were talking about, and they said bade galu, like that's
Yeah.
burp.
Yeah.
Like
Bade
bade galu,
Yeah.
like a burp
Yeah,
is
yeah,
translated
yeah.
as bade galu.
That's awesome.
Like, I
And
found
that's
that
a
so
fancy
cute.
way
Wind of the
saying it.
throat.
I was like, wait, so then do they call?
There's no creativity. The Persian language, I mean, for all this poetry,
Wind of the
it's
throat.
always like
Badigalu.
Badigalu, Sagid.
Abi.
So is the other end bade, you know,
No.
basan?
Actually, bade mede. That's what it is.
Or
wind
bad.
of your stomach.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Anyway,
That's,
it was just so hilarious to me.
yeah.
But you know, Kyan, you always say I feel uncomfortable in these Persian places, but you look at you. I mean, given the option of going to a gazillion salons in Toronto, you decide to go to a Persian. one.
I don't know. I feel like they know my hair better. Like if they know me culturally for some reason.
It's a real thing, eh?
What is?
Like different ethnic backgrounds have a specific hair texture, and they like to go to specific hair
Yeah,
salons.
I don't know. It's just habit for me, I guess. at
You
this
wouldn't get
point,
your
but-
beard trimmed by just anybody. It's you need a Persian guy.
Hey, I
trimming
need
your
my
beard.
Persian guy, man.
He
to
knows
trim
my hair
beard.
better than everybody.
You okay,
that's
Shai?
true.
Yes, I'm enjoying the
I see.
conversation.
You're very quiet.
No, I'm traumatized by the trimming beard because the guy cut my mustache.
Oh, that's right. You did actually try. It wasn't what you were trying to get your beard.
Yeah, I was
trimmed
just
too.
make it a bit trimming, but the guy like shaved my mustache.
How much
so-
did you pay?
And also, it's related to the kind of ethnic thing because
Oh.
yeah, he thought that it's
You're
my
white.
based on my religion actually because I'm a kind of Middle Eastern. I have to shave my mustache, so he shaved.
Oh, he
my-
just shaved
yeah.
your mustache
Yeah,
first
yeah.
and kept the beard.
Yes, yes,
So you looked like you were
What
a
is that
very
even
religious
different?
man
Yes,
from
yes.
Pakistan.
correct.
Nice.
Yes.
Not that there's anything.
No,
wrong
no,
with that.
no,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. But,
So,
that's
but
nice
so
try.
this is when you had your big
Yeah,
Gandalf, your Hafez beard.
Fascinating.
You cut it because the guy had trimmed your
Yes,
mustache
yes,
or
yes.
got rid of your mustache.
You
Yes.
see, that's a $2 trim, Gian.
No, that was $20 actually.
That actually was a
It's a costume.
Fuck.
I don't
Kian's got a
understand why
point.
you know there's like a razor, a trimmer
Mm-hmm.
You just buy a trimmer and do it yourself.
It's not the same. This guy is like, trust me. You go to him, I'll pay for it. You go give it a shot once. If you don't get addicted, I swear to God, it's so good. Like, and it lasts a long time.
Stepping up to buy me a trim. This is a big, it's a big moment.
Nowruz.
Yeah.
Big moment.
That's AD.
آقا اینم AD شما. برو یه تیریم بگی.
By the way, I want to get to Reza Ali. Alireza Ghadiri coming up. I just wanted to say as well, though, with all the difficulty going on in the world, I am being provided a panacea, a comfort, a way of feeling good about the world by who? By my team, Arsenal.
Hey.
And I just want to say, because we've spent so much time on this show with me feeling bad about myself and me feeling bad and you guys making fun of me and saying, why do you still stay with Arsenal and all that? They're just great. We just won again this weekend. But you know, they're a very young team, and this is about there's probably like 0.1% of our audience that cares about what I'm saying right now. But for those people, they will understand how great it is to be an Arsenal fan right now. We're number 4.
It's awesome.
And climbing, and the youngest team in the league, one of the youngest teams ever, and it's just really fun to watch.
Okay, good.
You can tune back in now, Kyan.
But speaking of soccer, did Canada make it to the World Cup?
They have a big game coming up.
Almost.
When is it? I think
we expect that Canada will be in. Yeah.
That would be crazy, man.
It's going to be Iran, Canada, England together.
Insane, isn't it?
This would be nuts.
I just wish it was in a better location.
Then
Qatar. Yeah, I don't know. When you read some of these news,
and
some articles about what it took to build these stadiums and the amount of
it is first of all, it's Nowruz coming up, and we will be doing our second annual Nowruz video, which is only in Persian. That means you and I, Kyan, Farat Farsi bayt.
It's good. I had practice at the hair salon.
That's right. So that next week, if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms, you may not see a podcast come up, but you will be able to on YouTube or on Instagram or on Telegram see our second annual Nowruz video with the team. And also this coming week, we are going to be releasing, you will see this on your podcast platforms, a version of our theme sung with new lyrics, and sung by a well-known Iranian performer.
Yes.
So look forward to that. The second anniversary of Roqe is coming up in mid-April.
Wow.
And on that show, we have Alireza Qurbani, the great Iranian singer, joining us for a feature interview. I think one of the first times he's done a big feature in English, maybe the only time or something. So that's very exciting. Also in the coming days on Roqe, Ziba Shirazi, the Iranian-American writer, poet, and singer. Hossein Amini, the screenwriter and director, Reza. He was once nominated for an Oscar. He's the guy who wrote Crash.
Yeah.
The Ryan Gosling film,
Drive.
Drive.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Drive. Crash. Yes. One word about a car. Yeah. Drive. That's right. Yeah.
Huge screenwriter.
Yeah, fabulous. Ashkan Royayi, who is a dance photographer based in Houston, who has built this huge following on TikTok and Instagram, shooting dancers and with just sublime work. An Iranian transplanted to Texas. We'll speak with him. Ash Kusha, who's on the forefront. He's a musician and futurist. And Captain Behnam.
Captain Behnam.
Yes, a real captain.
There can only be one captain.
I know.
What?
I know. He's moving in on Reza's territory. Captain Behnam is the famed United Airlines captain who has been with, well, that's not the wow part. He's been with United for about 35 years. He's the guy, if you remember, about 2 years ago, maybe I was actually about 3 or 4 years ago, he was piloting a flight that was headed from San Francisco to Hawaii, and the flight lost an engine. and it's like Sully, but this is actually even more dramatic. He piloted the flight down and saved all the passengers, and so he's been on the cover of magazines, and he's this sort of hero, and
that's amazing.
He'll talk to us about that story and how he's trying to do good for Iran these days as well. Captain Behnam coming up. All right, let's get to our feature guest.
Let's go.
All right, the fabulous Kyan, Captain Reza. Groovy Shaya, we'll see you in a little bit. Let's get to our feature guest. Our feature guest today is a young professional boxer with a powerful story of perseverance that is the stuff of movies. Alireza Reza Ali Ghadiri is an Iranian boxer based in London, England, who's built his story with hard work, determination, hope, and strength. He was born and raised in a perilous area of southern Tehran where fighting was not a hobby but a way of survival. He has quite a tragic backstory of a difficult childhood in Iran. He arrived in the UK in his teens with little in his pocket, sought asylum, and lived on the streets of East London. He's now 24 years old and is making a serious name for himself in the boxing world and has a fight coming up at Wembley Arena in front of 12,000 people and a global audience on satellite TV in just a couple of weeks. But first, right now, Alireza Ghadiri, Reza Ali, joins me from London, England today. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always good to be around, tell the story to people and inspire some people. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for doing this. I mean, you are one of the highest regarded young fighters in the UK. Just off the top, how does that feel after all you've been through?
Dream come true. That's how it feels, dream come true. But I still got a very long way to go, make it to the top. I don't really feel like I have it all, because I'm really hungry. So there's a long way to go. But it feels good to be here because to be here one day was a dream.
Ali, you posted a photo of yourself a few days ago saying, just being happy. It says, I'm just being happy. And you look relaxed. You have a big smile in your fancy jacket with a guitar in the background. I mean, it was really nice to see after all you've been through, which we'll get into. But is that a face that you put on for social media, or do you really feel that happy these days?
No. I'm always happy. Like since I remember, like since being a little kid, I'm always happy. I'm always smiling. Always smiling. It's just, as my friend always told me, happiness is a choice. So I just want to be happy. Your
Instagram tagline is "all hustle, no luck." Can you explain that?
Right. Yes. It's just my mentality, I'm a hustler. I call myself a hustler. Wake up every day, I hustle to make dream come true. In my life, nothing really been given to me, so I had to fight. So it's just all hustle and no luck. Hard work, dedication, and everything you want, you can achieve. That's the only way there. If otherwise, like you got, I don't know. It's never been easy to come someone give it to you. It's never been like that for me.
Yeah. You do say that you appreciate each day when you wake up that you're alive, and that's quite something for a 24-year-old to say. I mean, there have been times in your life when each day was literally a matter of trying to survive. Yes.
That's true. Yes. Still is the same. Sometimes I'm like asking myself, "Oh my God, my dream's too big." It scares me, and I'm just trying, because for me, I want it all. And even like now I have enough for myself. I'm like, oh no, it's a matter of surviving because I don't want this. But back in the day it was a bit worse because it was different where I came from, the ghetto where I came from. It was very different. It was just about to be alive, really to be alive, physically to be alive, because you just fight on the street. I've seen my friends get stabbed and different things. So the journey to be here today, it was scary. I'm happy. Like every day I wake up, I'm going to the park for my running or by the canal when I run, see the water, see the beautiful sky. I'm like, as long as I can run, as long as I got two arms to fight, as long as I breathe and I'm alive, anything I want, I can achieve. And my biggest dream is just to live every day, just being happy,
Well, Listen, I want to talk to you a little bit about where you are now and certainly where you're going. But let's talk about where you come from, because we've referenced it a couple of times. But and I know it's a difficult story, so I'm almost self-conscious about making you tell the story again. But just so folks know what you've been through, first of all, take us right back to being born in Tehran at the age of 2. Your dad and your mom divorced. Your dad was addicted to heroin. You were taken in by your grandparents. What can you tell us about what was happening with you at that very, very early age?
To be honest, I remember everything. So like, it was tough time. Being in a really unstable family, and my father was heroin addicted. The environment in the house is not a good place for a child. Where I'm from is not safe for a child. So like, you can be at home and you can be outside. It's just, you feel like it's end of the world. You think, like at some point you're gonna give up to the environment. But I personally think it's almost impossible to win against environment, because how do you want to survive when your family, your parents they just can't give it to you. Simple, they just can't give it to you.
Do you remember when you found out that or how you found out that your dad, I mean, you're a little kid, has some kind of addiction?
Well, when I started recognizing what's going on around me, like when I was 5, 6, seeing when my parents divorced, but like my mom said to me, your father is taking drug, and obviously like in the ghetto everyone's taking drugs, so I knew what is drug in early age. So yes, I knew like my father is taking drug, heroin, and then like when I was 6, I had a car crash and I lost my family. And the only person survived, it was me and my grandpa. The only reason, a couple of times I mentioned in my interviews, the only person survived, it was me. But it was my grandpa as well. But my grandpa wasn't in the car, it was outside, because he was trying to get the car fixed.
Yeah, this is let me just ask you to tell this. I mean, this is an incredibly harrowing story. So you're already sort of displaced as a kid, as a product of what we've just talked about with your parents, and then there's a bunch of you in a car. Is this in Tehran?
This is we went to Qom. On the way back, we got punctured in the motorway, and it's like bunch of us, like it was Pekan. All of us in the Pekan. Our relative, my aunties were like my parents, to be honest, because they were looking after me, because there was no mom, there was no dad, grandpa, like, or grandma, like, really not there for me. So it was really my auntie. So I was really attached to them, and I saw them. They burned to death, and the only person survived, it was me. And then it was this car. They were drunk. 2 guys and 1 girl. They were drunk coming back from Qom to Tehran, and then they lost control and they literally drove into us. The car exploded, and like everybody literally burned. Everybody burned. I was burned. All my face was burned, my hands, my legs.
Yeah, you end up in hospital for weeks, right? Or
No, I was there for 3 months, as my mother said.
Yeah.
I was too young to remember, but my mother said to me, you were in the hospital for 3 months. But I had very special treatment. It was tough. I remember like I was getting unconscious because they were taking me to steam room with a jet wash, try to scrub my face, It was too painful. Just imagine right now you're just gonna burn your hand. I don't know, you're doing barbecue, burning your hand. How painful it is, and all my body's bent, and then not only that, they're scratching me. So it was difficult. All my life I've been fighting. So
I'm so sorry that went through that. I mean, it is. One's heart goes out to you. Do you still see that vision of that burning car? How do you even cope with? I mean, you've obviously, figured this out in terms of moving on with your life, but it's a tremendously traumatic thing for it to happen to a kid.
You believe me or not, I just don't know how did I get over it. I still don't know, like it's my question too. How do I not think about it? Maybe I was just, I don't know, too busy trying to survive, or my dream of being so happy was too big for me. Or I really don't know, to be honest, like, because I know a lot of people go through not as much as me, and they just struggle for the rest of their life. I've seen with my eyes. I have friends, but I ask myself, like, how do I not dream about it anymore? Or like, I don't know. I don't think about it. I just
do you have PTSD? Do you wake up in a sweat thinking about it?
Yeah. No, I don't wake up in sweat, but like, yes, I wake up very moody sometimes, and my mood is not like, oh, someone made me upset. No, I just wake up for no reason, and I'm sad. I wake up for no reason. And a night before, a day before, I had the best time of my life, but I wake up and I'm very sad. I don't know that. Like, what I think it's that one. But I'm always looking at. I try to figure myself out when sometimes I wake up and I'm sad for no reason. I start praying, or I'm just looking for something to make me happy. I don't know. I just go buy myself flower, or I just listen to my favorite music, or I just go in my photos, look at my holidays picture, or whatever. I go to gym straight away to not think about it, because if I let it to grow in me, I would be one of those I would be wasted, thinking about my problems all the time, or why my father wanted to sell me for heroin, or why I lost my parents, or like my family, or...
Yeah, I should explain that the story is that you're in the hospital for months, and then your father, this is when you're 6 years old, your father returns to pretty much kidnap you, right? He takes you into hiding and tries to sell you for drugs?
Yes. He just came. It was one day, he was very high. He came, I remember, and then he asked my mom, I'm going to take Alireza. My mom was like, no, you can't. I remember my mother said, like, come on, you addicted yourself. How do you want to look after him? But, in Iran back in the day, and it's still now, is man's man country, So he literally took me. No one could do anything. He took me to the place called Shurabad. It's very close to Qom. He took me, like, it was like desert, a lot of, the place they keep the cows and stuff like that. A very scary place. I remember the details, to be honest. The place he took me there for 1 year, I was there. And then one day I could hear, because I was in the room, it was in a little room, I could hear them. This couple, they came to get me from my father for money. And then I was very lucky. I said, God, if you really exist and if you hear me, everything happened to me, but like, don't let this one happen, because the only thing I wanted was to go to my mom. But if they would buy me, I could never go to my mom. Like, and then I remember they didn't have the cash. My father, he wouldn't care about anything else. He just wanted the cash to go buy drugs. So they didn't have the cash with them. They wanted to see me first and then go bring the cash. My father said, no, you don't have the money. You don't see him. Just give me the money, take the kid. And I was just hearing all this conversation, and I was thinking, like, how can my own blood, my father, do this to his son, But like, I went through this process in my life, and I've seen a lot of different people. Like, when you taking drug, it's just nothing you can do, now maybe because I forgave him, maybe I just say, I don't know, like, I don't feel bad about him anymore.
But like, I mean, needless to say, first of all, you were not. I'm guessing you weren't in school, right? Even when you were 6 or 7 years old. If your dad could,
yeah.
And do you know where your dad is now?
I think he's dead. nobody knows. He disappeared when I was 9 years old. Last time I saw him, he was in his mother's house, my grandmother, and then he called my house. He said, "Listen, I'm here. Do you want to come and see me?" I remember I had a gold chain, and then my mother said to me, "Please leave it at home because he's gonna take it away from you." I said, "No, he's not gonna take it away from me." But I never hated my dad. That's the thing. That's a weird thing. I don't know why. Even when he wanted to sell me, I never even hated him. He was one of these very rare people in my life. I could never hate him. Even though when I would understand how does it feel to be in control by drug. So I said to my mother, "No, I'm going to go see my dad and I'm not going to take my chain off. I trust him." My grandmother was like, "You dumb." I said, no. So I remember I took my bicycle. It was a summer day. I went to the other grandmother. I saw my father. I was so happy to see him. And he hugged me so much. And that was the last time I saw my father when I was 9. He hugged me, he kissed me, and then I just went back home because I had to go to my grandmother because she would never let me go to my father's side. But I really resist that. I want to go see my father, and I'm delighted I went and I did it because that was the last. If I wouldn't go, I wouldn't see my father for last time. So I went there. I saw him. I was very keen to talk about big things, but I just saw him like any little kid seeing his father, and it was hard. But then, in early age, I realized what doesn't kill me really makes me stronger. Like, everything's happening to me. What can I do about it? I just want to be happy, you know?
Well, Ali, you, first of all, this is even just hard to hear, let alone what you've been through. No one would blame you for, getting involved in gang life after this. By your early teens, from what I understand, you're involved in gangs. This is, I guess, about 10, 15 years ago in Iran. How would you describe gang life in Tehran when you were involved?
It's different. Like people for no reason want to fight each other. So I believe everywhere is the same. Like this area fighting the other's area for literally nonsense. They're just bunch of people have no purpose in their life and have no education. The only thing they can do is literally fighting each other, harming each other. I literally remember I was in my neighborhood. I was in my area. From the other area, this guy came up to my friend. This guy, I always admire him. He was very handsome, tall, very confident. I was like maybe 5-6 years old, younger than him. I literally remember that moment. Someone looked at his eyes and then they started fighting. And then he literally stabbed the knife in his heart. He died. He literally died there. And then I was like, I couldn't get over it with my head, that was like, my friend literally died there. The guy stabbed him in the heart. That's simple. That's simple. And the guy ran away and nothing happened. They couldn't find him. He still it's so weird because that was when I was 15. Now I'm like 24. One of my friends called me last year and we talked about it. I was like, they didn't get the guy still. And this guy had something very special about him, my friend. He just died like that. Like, you know how many kids like him die? Look, I'm here. I had the potential to be here. If I would be dead, if I would be stabbed, or if I wouldn't run away, this potential would be waste.
What area was this in Tehran?
Islam Shahr. So many like me. Like, honestly, I remember I was going to to my gym. My coach, I was always the hardest worker in the gym, but I wasn't the most talented person. My coach, he used to always tell me, listen, look at, I always getting medals, trophies, stuff like that. I never forget my coach was telling me, listen, you're not the most talented, you're the most hard worker. They are they're much better than you. They have more talent than you, but they're all dead now, or they are drug addicted. So imagine if they would run away, if they had the chance to not be involved in that, I don't know, environment. Imagine they could be someone better than me. They could be here, represent their country, represent their family. They could be somebody for themselves, not go hurting each other, not going making troubles on the street. Because I wasn't the most talented person. That was so obvious to me.
Can I ask you? I mean, it's clear that you're not a drug addict now. How is it that you avoided that?
Obviously, when I see my father was heroin addicted, and the only thing my mother was telling me, she would never tell me don't go and fight. She would never tell me like don't make trouble. But the only thing she was reminding me every day, don't take drugs. Don't take drugs. That was the only thing she would tell me every single day. I remember like I was coming home, blood was everywhere on my body. You know, she knew I'm fighting on the street, this, that. That wasn't as big as if she would see me taking drug. You know, and she really, my mother worked so hard. I could see like she was my hero, literally working all day, all night, putting me in the classes, go, I don't know, do basketball, go do play football, like just being a sport, you know. And all I wanted to see, like, I had no choice. I had to be on the street because of many reasons that maybe not people will understand. Home wasn't a good place for me because in home, my situation was really worse than outside. Seeing people getting killed, I could take that, but I couldn't take to be home because my grandmother, like, she lost 2 of her daughters. She would hurt herself every day. And I couldn't see her screaming and crying, and then she had long nails, scratching her face. You know, this is like in the culture. I couldn't see that. That was really hard. You know, I really wanted to be on the street. That was better than home.
Ali, something happens around this time that is obviously a major part of the path that's led you to where you are today, which is that I guess fighting, kickboxing, martial arts, etc., becomes an outlet for you. And I think you were being modest a moment ago where you said I wasn't the best, I wasn't that good, because by the time you're in your mid-teens, you're competitively, as you say, you're winning medals and you're competing at an organized level. When did you know, or when did the people around you know that you got a real talent for this?
Since the first day I went to the gym. I never forget the first day I went to kickboxing gym. I was very little, only 8 years old. It was very old-fashioned. Everyone's sweating. I don't know how to punch. I remember I stood next to a very tall guy, and they showed me how to punch. All I could do, I was really hyped and really full of energy. They taught me how to punch, how to fight. They took me to a fight. I really had this kid. We were both like 8 years old. He started crying, you know, and I won the fight, but they raised both of us hands. And then fight after fight after fight. Never lost any fight when I was back home, especially when I was younger. They couldn't really fight me. Since day one, like everyone knew like I got something in me. I think I was made for this, you know, to fight.
Can I ask you a weird question? I mean, maybe I don't understand that. You're physically, like, you know, you are not a huge guy, right? You're not super tall.
No, I'm a small guy.
So does it surprise people when they look at you and then they find out just how good a fighter you are?
Sometimes, yes. I really get this, like, because I'm not really big guy, or my face doesn't look really angry, or I don't have my head. It's not like Mike Tyson, you know, boxers, things and stuff like that.
Right.
So when I told them I'm a professional boxer, I showed them my tape, my videos and stuff. They're like, oh, I can't believe that. Yeah, it surprises people sometimes. Oh, I love colors. Like I wear pink. I go on the street. Like people like, are you a professional boxer? I'm like, yes.
If it weren't for some of the tough guy tattoos, you kind of you look like an artistic Persian kid. Like, you look like a guy who could be in a band or something, you don't really look like a.
I wish. I literally buy a piano because I really want to play music, instruments. Fighting is the other side of me. Fighting is really the other side of me. Like, believe me, when I go in the ring, I'm surprised by the person I become. It's not me. Like,
well, that's interesting.
I don't know how. I just don't know how to describe it. Like, I just love the violence when I go in the ring. But when I'm getting out of the ring, I just want to have fun, peace, love.
Let me come back to that. Let me just hear about how you end up finally leaving Iran, because you've said there was an interview I saw you in where you said you could no longer stay in Tehran when you were 17 because the police were after you. Why were the police after you?
I was very crazy, like I was doing stupid things now when I think about it, how someone could do that. I was going in my school and I'm ashamed to say that, but like I was going there saying there is no God, there is no Allah, like they lying to us. Don't go to, because when you, I don't know, like you born in, you didn't go to school in Iran, like
no.
There was literally break time around lunchtime. You have to go to pray. And there is like course you have to pass, like it's about religion. And please don't come talk about religion to me, because Sama language, I don't take shit, You come up to me, you say there is God. I lost my family since age of 2, like my parents divorced, been kidnapped, on the streets, and so many other things. And you tell me there is a God? No, there is not a God. So you go to school and they force you to do that. They force you to read Quran. They force you. And I was like, no, like there is no God. You cannot say that in Iran. You cannot say such a thing. People really, they don't dare to talk about these things, especially in like age of 15, standing on your wall in your school and shouting out loud, there is no God. God is dead. There is no God.
But I've got to tell you an amazing thing, which is that, I've never heard you tell the details of this. So when I heard you say this in an interview, you're involved in gangs and the police were after you, I'm thinking that you're doing something nefarious, like you've stabbed someone or you've robbed something, you've robbed a bank or something. It turns out that you were just saying that there's no God.
There is no God. No. I did things like I fought a lot, but I've been like police came after us to get us. But in Iran, you literally can pay anyone. Especially my coach in Iran, he was from where I'm from. Like he was very well known. Every time I make trouble with one phone call, they would let us go. But here is a free country. I'm man enough to talk about my thoughts, my opinion. I just want to respect people a bit more, It's not about.
I got you. But you also say things like you're a spiritual person, and you say thanks God and things like that. So have you changed your position on religion, or do you just kind of?
Oh no, I don't believe in God. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. I believe in energy. I believe in universe. I believe in karma. Like as Iranians say, as hard as yes, that's me. I'm praying every day. Every day I pray to my God, to my energy.
Tell me about how you actually end up leaving Iran and ending up in London. Was it literally an escape, or how'd you get out?
I remember I was 15 years old. It was 2014. I went to a fight. They call it best of the best. I was very light. I was like maybe 55 kilogram. I took the fight. I was fighting a guy much bigger than me. And then I did really well. This promoter came up to me and said, listen, you're really good, Do you want me to take you to China for a fight? I was like, I don't say no to that, you know, that's an opportunity. So I went to China. I took my bag alone. I went to China. I couldn't speak in English, nothing. And I didn't know even who I'm fighting, you know. I went there, the guy was 26 years old, 3 times world champion. And then with confidence, I can say I was very strong in Iran. Like, I would fight a man and I would have nothing less than them power-wise. I faced this guy. I went in a ring in front of like 30,000 people in the arena. I remember this champion came in the ring and he kicked me in my arm. You know, like in 2 seconds when I got hit, I thought to myself, please give up now, because he's gonna smash you to pieces. He's gonna destroy you. And then I was like, no, I don't give up. It's not in my blood to give up. Let me just get destroyed in the ring, but I'm not gonna leave the ring, you know. So I lost the fight by the point. I survived for the whole rounds, and it was an amazing experience. I came home and I said to my mother, Mom, I think I have to go, because if I'm here, look, I'm fighting every day. I used to run away from home and nobody knew where I am for literally a month. There was no phone to call me, nothing. Like, my mother was like, is he alive? Where is he? Nobody knew where I am. I would run away, go to different cities. I just didn't want to be home, you know. Disappearing for a month, didn't finish my education. So my mom was like, I said, please give me some money, let me just go. And then my mom just gave me some money, whatever she had, she gave me. She said, like, I remember it was midnight. I went to airport. I kissed my mother's hand and my grandmother. I said to them, listen, I leave. I don't know if I'm going to be alive or not, because I don't know what's ahead for me, you know. As a teenager, I'm leaving home, different culture, different country. I'm away, smuggling myself to Europe. It's not like you're taking the plane, you go there. I'm smuggling myself. Anything can happen to me. So if I arrive and if I'm alive, I make you proud. And here we are today.
Wow, man! If there's first of all, if there's a smart investor listening right now, they should lay down a few $1 million for the movie rights to your story, because the more you talk, I think, oh my God, this is a feature film at the very least. You've said something quite remarkable, which is that, I mean, very telling, which is that when you arrived in London, so you're 18 years old. This is 2016. This is 6 years ago. You're an asylum seeker. You're in East London. You end up living on the streets, which would be, for anyone else, harrowing in and of itself. You've said that even when you were living on the streets, you were happy because it was a safe place. What do you mean by that?
You just have to physically go to see where I'm from. That's the only way I can describe. I can tell you till tomorrow morning how bad is my ghetto, or many ghetto in Tehran where I'm from, like different places. But you literally have to go there, physically see it with your eyes and sense it, how violent it is. I'm telling you, people get killed over the conversation. So how can East London on the street not be safe for me? Nobody want to fight me. Nobody want to fight for no reason. People are busy. They just need to pay their bills. They're happy. They got other problems. They're not coming to fight me. I'm sleeping on the street. No one tell me anything. And even people would just look at me, oh, look at this guy, like, because I was very young to be homeless. Like, other people, like, you can see they're older, they're homeless, sleeping on the street. I was very young. Like, I have a picture of myself. When I show it to my friend, like, my face changed so much since like 2-3 years ago. Like, now I look like adult. I was very baby face even when I was 21. Imagine when I was like 18. I was so happy. I can describe, honestly, I can describe. I had my smile coming to my ears. so happy. I was going to gym and then get bruised in my eyes, and I was bleeding, and my t-shirt was red, and I had only like maybe two free t-shirt. I still have my first t-shirt I bought in this country. My cousin bought it for me. I still have it in my wardrobe.
By the way, you didn't speak the language, right? You didn't speak English.
No.
And you didn't have enough money for food. You're living on the streets. I mean, how did you even make it through from day to day? Or was it just that when you talk about that juxtaposition, that comparison to where you came from, it didn't even matter? You were just happy to be in a free place.
That's that. And also, like, you can leave me anywhere. I know how to survive. It's just so natural to me to survive, you know? It really doesn't matter where I am. I know how to feed myself. I know how to protect myself. And the rest is just okay, you know, like you build up. And I just had to work hard to make my dream come true. I remember I went to the gym. My friend from US, from Chicago, Ali, he WhatsApped me this place that for me is a professional boxing gym. Go there. I went there. I didn't know what's Google Map. I didn't know how to use it.
And by the way, this is part of the incredible story. You're not a boxer yet at this point, right? When you arrive in the UK, you don't even have a boxing background. I mean, you've been a kickboxer, you've been a fighter, but you're not really. The fact that you're one of the most buzzed about boxers in the UK now is even more remarkable, given that just a few years ago when you arrived, you had no experience boxing, right?
No, thank you for mentioning it, because it's totally different. Boxing and kickboxing is like different ball game. It's like playing, I don't know, tennis and badminton. It's just different. Not because there is kickboxing is you're a boxer. That's why I had my face all bruised every day, because I didn't know how to box. I didn't know how to move. So I was literally a target. I would get any punch. I couldn't move my head. Coming home, my nose is bleeding. I got black eye everywhere. And I'm like going to this place. I said, I want to box. They told me, I said actually, I saw this guy after 5 years, couple of months ago. I said, do you remember me to that guy? He said, no, I don't remember you. I said, no, you're lying to me. You remember me because you're the guy. I came up to you 5 years ago. I said, I don't know how to box. You said, can I train here? You said to me, you have money? I said, no. You said to me, you have to clean the toilet. So I let you train in the gym. I'm the same guy. Look, I'm here today. I told him in his face. But none of them really mattered to me. I just had a dream. When you have a dream, nothing matters to you. When you're hungry, nothing matters to you. Nothing really breaks you. You fight the world.
But when you go to, isn't it true that you went to this West Ham boxing club and they ask you, they go, okay, show us what you can do, and you end up sparring and you really don't know what you're doing, but they come away impressed because they say, even though you don't know how to box, you know how to fight really well, right? That
yes, I went there. They said to me, okay, you want to box? Jump in the ring. Literally like in the movies. You want to box? Okay, jump in the ring. I said, okay, I jump in the ring, no problem. I jump in the ring. They were punching me, but I was punching them back, but no skills, And they was like, he can fight. We have to teach him how to box. And the guy said to me, the coach said to me, Tony, he said to me, keep coming here. I see you tomorrow. I was so happy. Oh man, West Ham Boxing Club. Like, they have history behind them. They want me to go back in there. Like, I was like, they want me. Like, I'll go make them proud. I went there, I worked so hard. But really put aside that they're not teaching me how to box, because I don't know, to call it racism, to call it was so many kids there, I wasn't the priority. I don't know what to call it. But they really didn't give me any attention. I was hustling my own way to learn how to box. So I just learn my craft every day. Whoever would do something good, I wanted to copy them. So, okay, they do this, I have to do this. I was just a very good watcher, good listener.
You said a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, you said that remarkable thing where you said, when I get in the boxing ring, I'm not me, I'm somebody else. And I said I wanted to come back to that. So let me ask you about that now. Who do you think you are when you're in that ring?
I feel so free. I feel I'm the happiest man that no one can really compare themselves to me, like happiness-wise. I feel I'm the freest man in the world. Nothing really matters to me. This is so sad to say, but if I get a phone call, they say you lost your mother and I'm in a ring, I don't really pay attention to that. Like this big, nothing really matters to me. I'm really disconnected. And when I fight, it's just different. I don't know how to bring it to the word for you. Like, I love the violence. I really love hurting that person in front of me. It's just like maybe I can take revenge. But when I'm out of that ring, I absolutely have no problem with anybody. I don't want to fight. But when I'm in that ring, I don't know, maybe someone, maybe a scientist can figure this out. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm in a ring, I just love to fight.
Well, when you say, that's, that laser focused kind of notion. I mean, that is, you mentioned Mike Tyson earlier. That was like Iron Mike. Like, he gets in the ring and he can't, But there's a side of it that sounds a little scary too. That you really want to hurt the person. I mean, maybe that is working out some of your past somehow or something. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but
I think so. I don't know. Like, I remember from my last fight, it was in Wembley Arena. Every round, I'm coming to my corner, and my coach sees me very frustrated. And then I'm like, I need to hurt him. I need to knock him out every round. And then by the end, like, he had cut in his cheekbone. He had cut in his eyebrow. He needed stitches on his face. That bad I hurt him. But I was really not happy because I couldn't knock him out, because I didn't hurt him that bad for him to stop. And I wasn't really happy celebrating because I couldn't knock that man out. It was like I had to hurt him even worse than what I did. I don't know why. Maybe it's the nature of the boxing business, or maybe it's just me. But because when I go in the ring, I just want a revenge. Just want a revenge for my hard days.
In a way, if it is true that that's the only place where you act this out, it's actually extremely functional. like it's really impressive that you sort of can be this calm, logical, reasonable, rational and peaceful person who works out his issues in the ring. I mean, if you could do that, you win the key to life, right? I mean, that's really well done. I was going to ask you if you're angry. I mean, forget about the ring for a second. I mean, we have so many prominent Iranians who come on this show and talk about all the things that they had when they were a kid, the primacy of their education and the important degrees they got. And you come from a really tough neighborhood and you didn't really have the option to finish school at all. I mean, are there times, not in the boxing ring, where you are angry about privileged kids who have it all, about being denied opportunities that others have?
No, actually, I have a lot of very, very wealthy individual friends, and I have my mentor. I go to him every day. He always tell me actually this. He always told me, like, he was born a billionaire in a family, one of the richest man in Israel, and he's telling me, like, how do you feel? I'm like, I just know it's not fair, but I don't really feel about your son. It's just, you don't really choose where you're born, which family, which place. I don't feel like angry about it. I feel hungry about it, because I tell him, like, your kid cannot survive, to be honest. If you away, if you die, if there is no money, what's going to happen to him? He can't survive a day outside. Like, you coming to me, literally begging me, taking your kid on the street, teaching him how to survive. Like, I can do that. You think I cannot be rich like you? But I'll be sometimes really upset that it's a lot of very basic things I didn't have in my life.
Yes.
I get upset not for like, I don't know, money or like not having a lot of material things, but sometimes I really get upset because I couldn't spend time with my mother. Sometimes I'm really sad. Like, when you go through this much, life has a different meaning to you. Like, I never saw my father, and I'm 24 years old. I only spent 5 years of my life with my mother. You know, like, how many mothers in life you can have? Only one. You know, like, what if I die tomorrow? Because there is not, oh no, don't say that. No, I survived a death. So it's different mentality. I just don't think the way no, I'm not talking about you, but I don't think like the way you think. Like, any person live on the edge every day.
But you know, there's certainly a lot of adages or sayings, or that there's or affirmations where people say, if you've been through hell, you know that you can survive anything. And I get the sense that you really know that. I mean, you've said it, that you can survive anything. Most people in this world, I think, not to go too far into the sort of a tangent, but I think one of the motivational factors for a lot of people in this world is fear. Everyone's afraid of things. They're afraid of what others think. They're afraid this might happen. They're afraid that might happen. You kind of know that no matter what, you can survive, right? And it feels like that confidence is in you because you've literally been through everything that the universe could throw at you.
Yes, everyone got a fear. Everyone, like, my fear is not surviving. My fear is one day to not be the best in the world, not to be one of the greatest. That's my fear. Like, I wish my fear was to survive, or to make money, or to have a place to sleep. I wish that was my fear. Like, my fear is like, when I'm older, I want my name to be mentioned like among best, like Muhammad Ali. Like,
why I mean, it's admirable, but why do you want so badly to be the champion?
I believe that's the purpose. I was born for that. Like, and you ask this question from yourself: why everyone died in the car except me? There should be a purpose that I'm alive today. Why all my friends got stabbed and I didn't get stabbed even once? Or why, like, that day, that family, they didn't have the money to give my father? So am I just here to run away from home and have a good life abroad in England? And is that the purpose I'm alive today? I don't think so. I think I'm here to give back to community. I need to be somebody to help some people. I need to be a world champion. I need to be one of the greatest people out there to be able to save some lives.
Who do you want to help?
Anybody deserves the help. Anybody I can give back. We all have same right, like, it's your right to be happy. It's your right. It's everybody's right to live a good life. I think that's the purpose. We are not born to live a miserable life. We are not born to go to work and do what we hate the most, 9 to 5, and then tolerate anything that we don't love. That's not the purpose we are born. We are born to enjoy every second of our life. And if it's not that, if the day I wake up and that's not my purpose, I'd rather die. I'd truly rather die.
Ali, I know your gym that you currently train at is in Finchley, in that northern part of London, where I was just there a few months ago. There's a growing and large Persian community. Are they aware that there's this young star Iranian boxer in the hood?
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot of Iranian, and it's a shame because, again, I never had the opportunity to be around Iranian community because I was at the gym trying to hustle to learn how to box or trying to survive here, you know. Or I always wanted to be part of the society here, so I had to speak English. So I was always around it like foreigners, you know, like English people, European people. But for my last fight, there were Iranian flag there. So because some Iranian came, honestly, it was different.
If you were to fight for a country right now, would it be for the UK? I mean, I don't even know the answer to that.
I would fight for both flags, for UK and for Iran, because I tell you why. You can never get the fact away that I'm Iranian. For the rest of my life, I'm Iranian, and I'm proud of it. But I never forget as well, like, in this country, I achieved my dreams. In this country, made me a man, you know. In this country, like, end of the day when I was in Iran, like, worst come to worst, I would go back to my mother's house. This country made me a man. There was no more place for me. I stood on my leg here, on my feet. So this country made me a man. I love UK. I love these people. They had faith in me. They gave me opportunity.
Yes.
So,
but by the way, though, I mean, just before we came to air, you told me you just ate fesanjun. So obviously, you can take the kid out of southern Tehran, but you can't take southern Tehran out of the kid.
Exactly.
You're still. That's it. You're still chowing on fesanjun at the first opportunity. You know, you're not eating a fish and chips.
I'll be an Iranian restaurant. If I have the chance, I want to have my kubi there.
Listen, I can't keep you forever. You've been so gracious. It's been a real treat to get to talk to you. Let me ask you a couple of last questions. One, you've got, I think it's March 26th. You've got another bout coming up at Wembley Arena.
Yes.
This is like, I mean, Wembley is this is a pretty big deal, and I think this one's going to be on Sky Sports, and you know, it's going to be beamed around the world. If you were to be Roqe, you know, be honest about this. Are you excited about this big fight coming up, or does it freak you out a little bit?
No, but I'm made for this. I'm made for this. I'll be a superstar, you know. I believe it every day. It doesn't freak me out. It just makes me work harder. That's my place. Small show hall is not my place. I was born to be on the biggest stage. Every time they challenge me harder, I just get better. I shine brighter, you know. That's me. That's in my blood. This is my second time fighting in Wembley Arena on the 26th of March, in front of 10,000 people, 12,000 people, live on telly, Sky Sport, millions of people watching it. And I'm going to knock him out, that man, and really hurt him. Makes me happy. It makes me really excited to work harder in the gym, and all my hard work soon will pay off.
Are you making a living now being a boxer, or do you have to do other jobs still?
No, I'm making a living. I have my contract with the biggest sport agency in the world called Was a Man, based in LA, and I can't wait to get my British passport to come live in US. To be honest, it is a big deal for me to live in a sunny country. I love UK, but I'm really fed up with London. So
after all the nice things you just said about the country making you a man, you're like, first opportunity, I'm going to California, baby.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Hey, listen, a final question to you. Forgive me, I don't know. Is your mom still around?
Yes, my mom is still around.
Okay. Is your mom able to come and? She's probably not. Is she able to come and see you at Wembley?
I don't think so for the next fight, but my mother is in the process to come to move here forever, to live with me. And I'm very delighted and very happy. So in a couple of months, my mom will come and live with me here.
Really?
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. I mean, in terms of a happy ending or a place where this story goes, your mom must be incredibly proud of you and incredibly heartened that she enabled the conditions where you've been able to literally climb out of where you were at, right?
My dream is just to make my mother proud of me, my grandmother proud of me, my friends. You know, when I go to gym, believe me or not, this is rare because I know other boxers. I know the community of boxing. When I go to the gym, there is a lot of people and I'm nobody. I'm just a hot prospect, as they say. I'm a hot prospect coming up, got the opportunity and the potential to be world champion. But when I go in the gym, you have to come and see. There is literally 5 photographers there. There is people with a camera, my friends all sitting, not going to work, spending their time, coming, sitting there and watch me train. Someone's drying me with a towel, someone's giving me water, and they all have faith in me. When I train, when I'm punching, honestly, I have no more power to punch. I'm exhausted. I'm in a really hard calorie deficit. I can't eat any food. I'm moody. The only thing truly want to do, one day, one of those examples is you. Oh, I talked to Alireza. I made friends with him. And now he's a champion. I just want to make you proud. I just want to make my friends proud. You know, they come spend their energy and their time. Time is valuable. I understand this. They come help me. You know, they give me all the love and the support and the energy. My biggest dream is I just want to make my people proud, to be honest. You know, me being here, I already won. I don't want more. You know, I'm not in the ghetto. I'm making my living. I'm happy. I'm in a good place. I don't want more.
Do you have a place for where your mama's going to live when she comes?
Yes, I got a very beautiful penthouse on the 21st floor for my mother. And I'm counting. And I pay so much rent. And I'm like, Mom, please come quick because you need to see this place I got for you, you know. So I want you to live here for some time and then we can give it back, you know.
Have you told her that with all the excitement and love of her coming to the UK, you're going to take off to the US at your first opportunity?
I actually told her a couple of days ago, I said, Mom, by the time you're here, I'll get my passport and I'm gone forever. She's like, man, I'm coming to you. I'm like, so you stay here, enjoy the life in the UK. No, I mean, obviously here is always my home.
Yes.
Here is my base, you know.
Yes.
But I want to come to US, be in the camp. I want to go. There is a lot, you know, boxing in the US is huge. Maybe I can get a contract, but for next 3 years, I'm signed with my promoter company here. But after that, maybe I can sign with a bigger promoter in US. Again, as I said, I just want to dedicate my life to boxing and then be one of the greatest. And it's easy to say, but when you think about it and when you have to put the work in, it's like, it really scares me, my dream. But then if I made it here, I can make it to the rest, you know.
Hey, Alireza Ghadiri, it's been a real pleasure, man, and actually an inspiration. I really, really appreciate you, and I appreciate the good that you want to do, and I look forward to watching it and to staying in touch.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure for me to be here, and thanks for hearing my story and then sharing it with other people. I hope one day I can inspire. It doesn't need to be many people, even one person, because I know that person will give it to someone else, and that's how this circle get bigger and bigger. I want to my Iranian people to hear, just please don't give up. It doesn't matter how hard it is, you know, just fight for your dreams, because dream can be one day your memory, you know, and it happened to me.
I can tell you a lot of people are listening to this around the world right now, and you'll likely hear from them, and you really are an inspiration. Talk soon, brother. Take care of yourself. Merci.
Thank you. خواهش میکنم. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope you enjoy the rest of the, I think it's day there, right?
Yes, it's something like
day,
that.
it's about to get dark here. It's already dark.
Khodafis.
Khodafis.
Alireza Reza Ali Ghadiri, an Iranian professional boxer based in London, England. His next fight is coming up at Wembley Arena and on various satellite TV networks. Alireza Ghadiri joined us from London today. The team is back here with the microphones on. Captain Reza,
wow,
Groovy Shaya, and the fabulous Kyan. How about that, Reza?
Wow, yeah. What a soul.
As a filmmaker, don't you want the rights to that story?
Yeah, I do. I actually want to talk to him, and I want to definitely make a doc about him for sure. That's in the making already.
I bet you there's a lineup to do that.
I bet.
I
bet.
What a story.
What blew my mind is that he's like, I wasn't mad at him, like, about his dad. After, he was like, this man got something special. Yeah. It's just, there is no other way to explain it. Very, very fascinating.
I kind of really get it though. It's hard to be mad at a parent, you know? It's hard to, and he has that final scene with his dad where he's 9 and his dad says, I love you, I've always loved you.
It's literally a scene, like you write this stuff in a script. Yeah. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But it's also, it all comes together when he says, what did he say? Something like, nothing can hurt me. No, I'm not afraid of anything. I can survive anything. Yeah, I can survive anything. You really, I mean, after what he's been through, it makes sense that he's
nothing phases anymore.
I'm speechless. What a story. I don't think we've had a lot of incredible stories on Roqe. This has to be, like, for me at least, the most just unbelievable story. What he's gone through, one human being to go through even one of that is enough to just
by the age of 24
knock you out. I feel so ridiculous for every complaint I've ever had in my life compared to what he's gone through.
Well, we feel ridiculous about your complaints too, but that's a different story.
It's just all I can say is that I'm proud of him, and I genuinely say this. I pray with whatever universe, energy, whatever you want to call it, that I see more of his success, because he truly deserves it.
It's so it is beautiful that he's channeling all of that into seemingly into something positive.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was thinking, therapists will often say, like, if you can find a channel for your anger or your frustration or whatever, it's like, punch a pillow or something. And he's found the boxing ring. I mean, I fear for some of his opponents, the way he's like, I just want to kill them, and it's like, okay, I guess, but that's what Mike Tyson said. I mean, that's part of the gig.
Turn into a different person.
He's found an outlet for that, I guess.
Oddly enough, I didn't know we had him on today. I have my first kickboxing class this Saturday. I feel a little ridiculous saying that. I don't think I can be anything like him. So it's like
no, you sure can't. Not even remotely close.
Too bad you're not in Vancouver. You could have done Fari Nazalari.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Gone to her gym. What made you want to do kickboxing?
I needed something different, and honestly, I was just thinking self-defense. If I ever come across Reza in a dark alley.
Dark alley. I should be afraid of you, bulldozer.
Okay, back to Reza Ali. Shaya?
From dark alley to Reza. Okay. I mean, that actually 2 points. One is that was really fascinating when he said that when he got on stage, on a
boxing ring.
He changed, and it's kind of similar with a musician when goes on stage. when you go on that zone, you
Yes,
kind of
yeah,
forget.
lose yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lose
yeah.
yourself. And but he said he loves being violent, and it's fascinating. The other thing is that I'm really happy that his mom is going to go to London, and it's really.
I thought of you while I was doing this. I thought about the part where he talks about God was interesting. First of all, it's understandable that he's not a believer based on all that he's been through. As he said, how if there's a God, why would they steal my whole family away from me in a car crash and all that? But that this idea that I had only read, as I said in the interview, I'd only read that he was in big trouble. The police were after him and all. I say, so I'm just assuming because he's in a gang, he's knifed someone or he's robbed a bank or he's done. It turns out he went to school and said he started saying there's no God. I mean,
this isn't, and the academy goes to, honestly, this stuff, you can't write it. You can't do drugs and write stories this crazy.
That's an insight into Iran. Is my point. I mean, you can.
What do you think of me?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. How did that remind you?
Because honestly, my
which part exactly?
No, I think of
talk about that, Jian.
The drugs?
No. I think of you because I feel like you are someone who, first of all, I know you come from a religious family,
correct,
and I know you have thought a lot about what your relationship with a God or God is.
I see.
And particularly in the context of coming from Iran and being Iranian. So I thought that would be interesting for you to talk to you about that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, when I was at that age, like 15, kind of, I believed in God, in the Islam God, and so I wasn't that rebellious to go against those beliefs. But when I finally found the spiritual mind in myself, so I forget about the God. Now I understand him.
But again, as for those of us who grew up in the diaspora, sounds horrible. That was weird.
Way better.
For those who grew up in the diaspora, it's still amazing to me that someone would have the police after him because he said there's no God in school. I mean, you would almost be seen as an interesting thinker. You would not only would you not be sanctioned, but you would be elevated here. Be like, oh, this kid's got something. He's questioning God. Mind you, there are things you can't say in the West too. I mean, I guess there's certain lines you can't cross these days, and so I was trying to position it. Would that be like the equivalent of saying something racist now in a school? Although I'm not sure the police would come after you, but
honestly, in Iran also, I'm not sure if you say there is no God in the school, police would come after you. I mean, it definitely the police in that neighborhood is different from the police in my neighborhood.
Well, he did sound like he was quite animated about it. He wasn't just he wasn't saying it under his breath. He was kind of preaching to the the way he told that story. So
but generally I'm happy. Whatever makes you think of me, I'm happy.
Even if it's something horrible.
While Reza and Kyan are at the salon, Shai, you and I will talk about God.
Salon. Oh my God.
Well, you were at the salon. What are you saying?
I know.
That's why I thought
you went to the salon you went to the Persian salon to get your beard trimmed. This is who you are. This is who you are now. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It's like God is playing a practical joke on me. Like every time I go somewhere and do something ridiculous that I really don't want to be seen, Jian is there. or he finds out about it, or I see you.
But between this guy, between the nose job and the trim, the beard trim, and he is. And
after hearing Reza Ali's story, I'm switching to Reza.
I know. That's the camera needs to go. The shot needs to go from Reza Ali, bloodied and living on the street, to Reza in the salon with like a.
But Reza had, it took a lot for him to come to Canada too. He had quite a story.
Why do you think I go to get my beard trimmed to cover up all the scars on my face?
So he's come a long way only to have someone else trim his beard.
And it's about time Reza Ali Jun go get some facial, get a massage too. He's been through a lot, man.
Oh boy. Quickly, the show has quickly descended into a place where most of the audience can't understand, can't relate to any of us. Although maybe some of them can relate to Kyan and Reza.
They are Persian.
Thank you very much, everybody. Happy Nowruz in advance to everybody out there. We'll see you next week with our Nowruz video, and on Thursday for a contemporary history of Iran. Thank you, Captain Reza, Groovy Shy, the fabulous Kyan. This is Full Time for Roqe for today. For all things Roqe related, including how you can become a patron of our program and help support us, roqemedia.com is where you go. roqemedia.com. Check out that new homepage at roqemedia.com featuring all the episodes of Hospitality that are now up there. Chef Haas's series. Thanks to the amazing team who put this show together. Savvy, Roham, talented Anahita Ponce, the artist, the fabulous Kyan, Super Patty Saw, Merdad, Captain Reza, and Groovy Shaya. Thank you to all of you out there for supporting us and sharing our content. Please subscribe on this platform you're listening on, or any of our platforms if you've not done so already, or all of them for that matter. Find me on Instagram at Jian Ghomeshi. Mizu Mashi.